DBS community, welcome back to another video here with Chris, and we are going to be doing another deck building video here. We still have the event going on as of this video being released. Actually, this is probably the last day for it, but I picked 5 leaders that you guys were making comments about, which we got like 100 and at the making of this video, I think we're at like 130 votes. It's much more than I thought I was going to get on one of those community polls, so thank you guys. That's really awesome. I think right now Broly Invoker is in the lead, which is the set 16. Yeah, that's like the extra card Broly, which is gonna be really fun. I think it's between that and Chaos Bringer Toa, which was the promo Toa leader from back in the day. So we'll see what we end up getting. But today we're gonna be doing another black deck, and this one is gonna be a very highly competitive black deck. This is a black deck that, if you guys have watched this channel enough, you guys know I am really hype on this deck. I played it a lot. Played at one regional. Played at a ton of store championships. It's gonna be Mechikabura. I feel like Mechikabura has a great place in this meta. I think the problem is we're just not seeing anyone piloting the deck correctly. I think this deck has so much that it can do, and I think it's not being utilized correctly. And we'll go over that a little bit here in the video, so make sure you guys smash the like button. As always, hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe if you guys haven't. It's free. It helps me support the channel. Shows me that you guys are listening. You guys are interested in the content. And then, as always, comment down below what you guys want me to see me do in the future. I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with. I already have the second poll that's going to be coming up this week, probably the day after 4th of July, so 5th or whatever it is. Probably maybe actually the making of probably the release of this video. So yeah, so Mechikabura, this is a wish deck in a sense. You play up to 7 Dragon Balls, Dark Dragon Balls in your deck. When you swing, you search deck and life for 2 Dark Dragon Balls. And you cannot awaken until you have all 7 Dragon Balls in the drop. When you do, you draw 1, restand 1, and then you send one of your opponent's battle cards. Your opponent sends one of their battle cards from the drop to the warp. Side you draw, activate main, you bottom deck 1 to steal something 4 or less and negate its skills before you take it. And then you gain control over it, switches to active mode, or you can remove all 7 Dragon Balls and gain triple attack. Your leader is auto is not once per turn, so essentially you're just drawing 3 cards off of it, which a lot of the times actually is really good just to do that, just to kind of just fill your hand back up, not even to go for the kill. But you just kind of be careful. Right now, the big thing with this deck is because it is a wish deck, and because we can end up having balls in our life and we can't awaken early, unless we have the balls in the drop, you want to run 60. You just kind of have to run 60. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna run 60. And we'll go first and do the necessary grabbing the balls. So we run 3 Yearning. This is just the number one. This is the easiest 3 insert you're going to run in the deck. Yearning is a 5k. It's like a 4-star ball essentially, but also has an effect where you can actually warp. Your opponent warps one of their battle cards, ignoring one of their 1-drop battle cards, essentially just to kind of get rid of BMS. That's the idea, because BMS actually shits on this deck, but BMS should never shit on this deck because it's never going to be on the field. You're just going to remove it. And then the other one is the other ball, which is probably going to be a little bit harder to find. Just be me searching 1 cost. Yeah, the promo here. So gain Dark Dragon Ball, blah 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 blah. Ends up being a 0 cost because your leader's a Black Mechikabura card. Which this is important because in the future, whenever they print Mechikabura leaders, which we will get a Mechikabura leader eventually in Zenkai Boost set, I just kind of feel that, right? Your leader is a Black Mechikabura only. You pitch this and 1 Demon Realm Race or Demon God, or a Dark Dragon Ball to your drop area. You draw 2, and then you your opponent warps the battle card from the drop area. Again, they have to choose, so like in the matchup against like U7, this isn't doing shit. But against other matchups, this is just warping stuff from the drop area. And depending on the matchup, you actually don't want to awaken really early. There's matchups where you want to like hyper awaken, like turn 2, just get awoken. There's gonna be games where you don't really want to get awoken early. You can just kind of force them to combo cards from their hand and then just use this and warp it, Kind of forces them to kind of sequence perfectly, right? So that's the Dragon Balls, right? So that's all 7. And now we're going to dump into the battle cards, which is going to be really easy. So we'll go to traits, do Demon God and Demon Realm Race. Very, very easy. We're just going to include all the ritual and hand cards, right? So we run 4 Salsa, warps 1 from your opponent's hand, they draw 1 when this card attacks, they warp a battle card from the drop area, and then regardless of if they warp 1 or not, you draw 1, and then you can't activate autos on this card. You can play it out for 1 if you have 2 Dragon Balls in the drop, and then you can burst 2 Dragon Balls to the drop from your deck. So we're obviously going to run 4 of those. And then the Toa is amazing as well. This one is warps a battle card on board, and then they warp 1, draw 1. Same effect, you play it out for 1, and it's a blocker. So this is great because this is essentially a max power Kamehameha, but in the form of a battle card. So it's searchable, it's got 5k combo, and it stops 2 attacks, essentially. Because you're going to play it, you're going to warp something, which is going to be 1 attack down, and now you have a blocker for another attack. So 4 of those. And then in this current format, I think Shroom actually has a lot of playability. So this is the one that nobody likes. Nobody likes playing this card. You can only play it past turn 2. So like if you go first on turn 2, you can play this. If you go second, you have to play it, on 2 energy, right? This card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 battle card and their drop area sent to the warp, then you warp 1 of their battle cards 3 or less. What's good about this card is that against decks like Bulma, decks that are just playing a lot of small battle cards, this card can come down and then just absolutely annihilate stuff, right? AOD is a very good example, right? Because these are all 4 cost, so I believe the Android 13 combo or counterplay doesn't hit these because it's 3 or less. You play this, swing into a card, and then you warp something else on board. You warp something from the drop. It's 3 types of removal in one swing. The problem is you have to swing at this card, right? But it is a Demon Realm Race. It's searchable. We want to run it, so we're gonna run 3 of those bad boys. And then let's see what else we got here. So I've showcased this combo before. So we have the Mechikabura Ritual at hand. This is a 1-drop cantrip. Very good for turn 1. Sometimes turn 1 we just don't have anything to do. We also can tap 1, search top 7, and play out a Toa Shroom Salsa, 15k power and energy cost of 4 from our deck, or from the top 7. Which means you can play out any of these cards that we just added, because this is the 4-drop 15k, 4-drop 10k. This works, yeah, so 15k or less. So yeah, so it works on the Toa and it works on the Salsa as well. Now it's also good. There's another little sneaky card. Another little sneaky card you can play here, which is Umbral Invitation Toa. So this card actually has a lot of playability right now in black decks. People just don't look at it. It's a 15k Dark Overwhelm 1, which is incredibly powerful. Dark Overwhelm 4 and then 1 cost. When this card's played, choose it to 1 battle card on your opponent's battle area, 3 cost or less, and gain control over it. This is really good. So just being able to just take control over a card, that's really good. It gives, it removes resources from them. You get a battle card. It's really powerful. But it's playable off of the Mechikabura because it's a 4-drop and it's a 15k Toa. So play it off of it. It's also just a charge target as well. So or you can also, if you're not going to play it, it's a free pitch off of your Dragon Ball effect, which ends up being a problem for the deck sometimes, because sometimes you have too many good cards in your deck or in your hand and you don't want to pitch them off of the effect. So this is also just a pitch target for decks that aren't running 3 or less battle cards. So we got that there. Great. What else can we run here? So we have, I saw it down here. Where is it? Where'd it go? I looked right past it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Ah, yes. Great Devilman, Demonic Trickster. This is a 2-drop counterplay. Hit something 2 or less. It sends it to the warp instead. It's a Demon Realm Race, which means it's searchable, and also we can pitch it off of the effects. So we're going to run 2 of these in the main deck. This is actually very good. If you're in late game situations and your opponent is playing a Floodgate, whether it's a Topo, whether it's the Android 15, the blue Topo essentially, or if they're playing Bupo or they're playing Oceanus, you can play this. Just completely just removes it, and it also goes to the warp, which is good for you. So we'll tech 2 of those in. Nothing really else here in the main deck. Actually, so realistically, what I would probably rather do is probably cut this down completely. We're not going to run this. We're going to take out Toa as well. The reason is I just thought of something. So, Toa Rewriting History. This card is fantastic. You use it to search out a ball. But also, yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of this at the beginning. So this guy allows you to search out a Dark Dragon Ball from your deck or your drop area, add it to your hand. But you want to search through your deck. The main reason is you want to search through your deck is if you're going first, you want to be able to see how many Dragon Balls are in your deck, because you're basically can just do just a little bit of mathematics. You can check how many you have in your hand and in your deck, count those up. If you see what they equal for 7, and then minus what you don't have, that's what's going to be in your life. So if you see 5, that means you have 2 in your life, right? Just tells you if you want to take an early damage or not from like your opponent's leader swing. It's 10k. You can just combo this off, then go up to 15, and then you just next turn just take the 2 from your life, right? That way you're going on the 6 and not 5. It's pretty helpful. But so like early, later on in the game, you also can just grab back your Dark Dragon Ball. So it gives you a 5k combo, or you can grab the Empire Strikes Back just to cycle 2 cards and warp something from their drop. So has a lot of playability as well with that. It's also 1 cost, and we do play Power Burst, so we're gonna be able to grab it back. This is actually better just in the long run than the other Mechikabura, which this is pretty nuts. But we're actually gonna run some other 1-drop cantrips, so it's not that big a video. All right, so I think that's it for those for now. Let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, Broken Seal. We'll throw 1 Broken Seal in the main deck. You can just kind of control lock one of your opponent's battle cards, and also this grabs you a Dark Dragon Ball as well. So also just allows you to kind of shuffle your deck a little bit too. I think anything else up here. Dark King Mechikabura. We will probably add this in as probably a 2 of. Wide boards. This card just completely decimates it. You tap 4 for it. It's a 30k deflect double strike. You warp your entire opponent's board. Your opponent already has to have 4 more cards in their warp when this card's played. That's the only downside. But when you play it, you warp everything, and then you choose 2 of their battle cards, energy cost 7 or less with different card names, play them with their skills negated, and you can't play non-black battle cards for the turn. It's cool. This card just allows you to just shut down a lot of rogue decks. Yellow Sin, Red Bulma, AOD, a lot of these decks that just like to go wide. Any red deck, essentially, you can just play this, warp their entire board, and then you don't have to deal with it, right? So we'll tuck 2 of those in for now. That may change. This war is probably gonna go in the side deck. Oh yeah, Demon God Poutine. This is your floodgate. So we're gonna stack 3 in the main deck right now. It's a 2-drop. If it's your opponent's turn and you choose 1 card in your hand and bottom deck it, when this card's played, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they choose 2 cards in their hand and send it to the warp each time. This is a very, very powerful archetype card. Honestly, this is probably one of the best floodgates in black, and it's only locked to this leader currently. So 3 in the main deck for sure. It forces your opponent to counterplay it, and also there is no cost, right? You pay the 2, and you don't actually have to bottom deck the 1 card. But also, if you play this and they counterplay it, you don't have to bottom deck a card because it's never in play, and this auto never triggers. So you don't actually have to pitch. It's not like Topo where you have to pitch a card, right? They play this and like, all right, cooler counter, like great. You get rid of this, and then I don't have I don't have to drop another card. So we'll do 3. We're at 28, and we got a lot of space left. We'll do 4 Demon God Toas. We're gonna get Sparking 5 probably turn 2, and we don't overwhelm. So this card's gonna be live from turn probably 2 on. It's searchable. It's also just good to have. So we're gonna leave this card in there. The Poutine engine, which is something that I absolutely love, the 1-drop Poutine engine. It's not good. And she's not even on here because she's an evil wizard. But it's not good because it just costs too much mana, and we don't really play Unison until later on in the game. So it's just not really good. I do want to add, let's see, what can I add to the main deck here? So we'll do, let's do a Unison, right? Let's do a Unison. We're gonna do Mira, and I'll explain this a little bit here. So Mira is a very powerful Unison for this deck. So you think of this deck like Black U7, right? So U7, I said this in another video, U7 and Black Mech in this deck here play very similar. You can say certain decks have particular cards that have more value, that's fine. But the concept of the deck plays very, very similar. You can both awaken at very high life total. You both have very incredible board control, very powerful 1-drops that all do a multitude of things in a very powerful 3-drop Unison. And this when this came out, I first saw it, I'm like, this is just gonna go perfect in Mechikabura. So this has when your opponent starts the turn, you choose one of your skills battle cards, it gains blocker. Granted, you cannot choose the cards that you steal and give them blocker, because those have their skills negated for the turn, so it will gain blocker, and it will check that the card has its skills negated for the game, and then it will lose blocker. So you actually can't, you can try to give it blocker, it just won't be able to hold it. +1, you play 2 tokens, you can give those blocker, but the other +1 is the important part. You remove one of your skillless battle cards from the game, you draw one, and you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and you send it to the owner's warp. Now, why this is good, right? You can say, well, we don't play battle cards, like skillless battle cards, Chris. What do you mean? If you check this right here, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it costs 4 or less, negate its skills. Switch that card to active mode and gain control over it. So when you gain control over a card in this deck, it becomes, when you gain control over a card in this game, it becomes your card. You are now the master of this card. Heroine Lineage, it's a good example of it, but you gain control over the card. You are now the master of the card. You're a master of all of its skills or lack thereof. So what happens is when you gain control over a battle card, it is now yours, which then fills the requirement for this, where you choose one of your skills battle cards. It will check that it is a skills battle card, which it will be, because all its skills will be negated for the game, and it will check that it is your skills battle card, which it is your skills battle card. So you will basically banish this card from the game after you've stolen it and swung at it with him, and then you'll also draw a card and warp another one of their battle cards on board. No energy cost requirement, which meaning that you can warp tokens. Incredible value, something that I think is being overlooked, and probably needs to be reviewed by Bandai. Just saying, because this effect, this deck ever catches on, this effect is just wildly inappropriate. Just being able to remove your opponent's card from the game, it's like currently, like right now, it probably is not a huge deal because this deck is as rogue as you get. But in the sense of something where you can actually do this, it's like, and it becomes impactful. Like if I take this to an event, or someone else takes this deck to an event, tops with it, and we use this effect with the leader, and we just punish using these 2 effects, it's probably going to get looked at, right? Because people are going to be like, whoa, that doesn't work that way. And they're going to get judge calls and be like, no, this is a skills battle card. It's mine. I can remove it from the game. That's how it works. So this is just definitely something that has to be visited, because this is the first time I think we've ever had this interaction in the game. So 4 of it. Ideally, you want to awaken on turn 3 most of the time, if you can help it, right? A lot of the time, I will probably go through all of my Dragon Balls on turn 2, and then I will just hold the ability to awaken if I absolutely need to for defensive purposes. But you have other defensive options. You don't have to awaken, and then turn 3, slap down the Mira, do a bunch of stuff, awaken, and then go from there. So 4 of those. What else do we want? So we want where's this card at? And what it looks like, yeah, this guy, Darkest Judgment. I don't know why I can't remember the card's name. So this is a negate. If your opponent has 3 or more cards in the warp, you can activate this card to activate battle from without paying its energy cost. You'll use the Mechikabura. Only in your opponent's turn, you choose one of your cards and you get 5k for the turn. Essentially giving you a black Sensu Bean. Again, something else that's incredibly powerful in this deck. You have a free Sensu Bean you can just run 4 of. Like, this is insane. It's blows my mind that people don't play this deck. So we're going to tech 4 these in, obviously. This is just a Sensu Bean. This stops all aggro decks. It allows you to tap out and feel safe in a black deck. Like with super combos, using this, it's just incredible. So we're going to use 4 of those. And we'll add good old Power Burst in here because, again, Power Burst is going to be live turn 1. We're going to be able to get back our 1-drops. And currently, right now, we only have the Toa, this guy in here, but I'll show you what we're going to add here. All right, so we need some more pressure cards. So we'll do King Vegeta, Kingdom Lost. We'll do 3 of these. This is your 2-drop, Barrier Deflect. I'm sorry, not Barrier Deflect, Barrier Double Strike. Warp something from your opponent's hand, and it also gives you a Deadly Defender effect. It's very good. We need cards like this since we can't run Overrealm. And then for your big boss monster, well, we already run the Magic, this guy here. So a lot of our stuff's just gonna be pressure from a lot of these 15Ks, right? So we're gonna do a Champa here, pop in a Champa, just for that, and then also we're gonna go and run the green Ginyu guy, which is essentially it's a new ruler. For us, this is a new ruler, Ginyu the Body Snatcher. So this is a 20k body permanent. This card gets minus 10k during your opponent's turn. Doesn't matter. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Choose one battle card you gain control of from your opponent using one of your card skills. Place in the drop area and play this card from your hand. Bottom effect we don't care about. This is a 20k body with double strike that we play for free by stealing one of our opponent's battle cards off of our leader effect. So we're gonna tech 2 of those in there for now. Very powerful. Just being able to steal battle cards, and then you can just. You either have the option of drawing one and warping one and doing this, or you can play the Ginyu and then pressure something down, and it's for free. So we like free, especially in a black deck. I don't think we need another big boss monster. I think probably just some pressure. So we'll do Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai is great. I've grown to love this card. Maybe a little bit more than Space Time Unraveler. Just being a 50k double strike and then also having the floodgate effect on the other side. People forget about it. It's a very powerful effect. We'll do 2 Kai Negates. 1 cost, just warp something, just stops the turn completely. Sometimes just a little bit better than using 2 energy for Poutine. That puts us at 52. And so we have some more spots we kind of want to get through here a little bit, so we need to find some extra things that we can add in. So 1-drops, right? So that was a big thing. We're gonna go over what the 1-drops could be. So Toa Twisted Sister is something that you can add in here. Very good against red, against U7, being able to bottom deck one of their cards, bottom deck their secret rare, something else in their drop area. Any deck that plays stuff from the drop area or has effects with the drop area, you can just bottom deck them. Also is a Demon Realm race, stuff like that, and it draws you a card. Also, very good against Broly Crown. So if you have 2 energy up, your opponent plays Broly Crown, you play this, it happens in the counter window, Broly Crown effect activates, you have 1 energy up, they don't get anything, and then you get to draw a card and cycle one of their cards if you so choose. Pretty good. Pretty good effect. So you have this card, you have this Kibito Kai Opening Strike, you draw a card, and then if your opponent has 3 or less energy, you bottom deck one of your opponent's cards 30k or more. Very good against Yellow Sin, but not amazing right now in the format. The card we're going to run in the main deck is going to be, drum roll, just gotta find it. It's probably gonna be on the last page, that's my guess. Don't see it. I do not see it. Type it in. Shin, Noble Supremacy. So you draw a card. If you have less than 3 energy, your opponent can't attack with a card 7 or more until the start of your next main phase. So, greens. So you have the blue cell, right? You have green cell, can't attack with anything. You have U7. You have Goku GT. You have Sin. You have, you just go through those decks, right? You have all these cards, and this is as long as you have 3 energy. So you actually don't have to, there may be a turn, you go to turn 4, you may not want to charge to 4 yet. right? You just play this. You're just playing a little bit of a different style of game. You just stop your opponent from being able to do anything for a few turns, and then next turn you draw Mechikabura, you stop them from playing their big card. Then you go into turn 5 or turn 6, and now you have all this extra value that you have, and you stop them from doing what they want and kind of force them to play differently. So we're gonna do 2 of the Shin. I think it's pretty solid. So right now we had a bunch. This is all the extra cards we have that don't have combo power. We have 4 of these. I technically 7 extra cards that don't have combo power, because these have 5k, these have 5k on defense. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 10ks. Probably don't want to do any more than that. So we want to. Oh, I didn't have 4 there. That's weird. So now I kind of just want to fix up some ratios here. Probably do 4 of those. I think 2 of those are still fine. That's still good. You can probably do 4, honestly, for now. I think you can get away with it, just having max consistency with all this stuff. We have 3 extra spots. 3 extra spots. Now this can be for probably some Demon Realm race stuff, I would say. It's probably the best thing for it. But I think a good card to run as a 2 of, where is it at, is Guardian of Space-Time. This is just a free 10k combo. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, who doesn't want to run that, right? That's really good, especially if you're trying to play a little bit more of an aggro style. And then we'll do we'll do a Super Kamehameha, right? It's probably a good one to run. So what we'll do is that's probably fine. Yeah, that seems like a good combination of stuff there. Now for the side deck, we're gonna go Finn. This card here, board wipe. Gotta run it, right? The other one's gonna be Kami. Board wipe through barrier. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. We'll do Quaits. Probably 3 Quaits, just because yellow ends up, pissing you off if you're playing this deck. We'll do Devilish Dominator for blue. We'll tuck 2 of those guys in. We'll also do Deluge of Darkness. Very powerful card because how much you warp. We'll probably just tuck 2 of these in for now, because this essentially is a game-winning card. You play this, if this card does not die, you swing, you warp 1 for every 10 cards in their warp, and so if they have 20 cards, that's 2 damage. And then you warp 1 of your life afterwards. So if you both are at 1 life, they have 10 cards in the warp, you play this, you swing. They take a life first, and then the effect has a period, so then that's the second effect. So they actually will lose right when this effect happens. And then you don't even have to take your life because the game's already over. So that's a pretty cool effect. Deborah. And here's probably where we just kind of do this. Right? So probably we'll do 1 Deluge of Darkness. Probably fine, right? 2 Devilish Dominator. This will just come out for decks that are not playing wide boards. I mean, there's a lot of decks that play decently sized boards, like 2 or 3 cards. That's still good enough to remove. Devilish Dominator is just really good against blue. Works against yellow sometimes. Not if they have Final Flash though. So, but yeah, it's probably good here. I think this is a very solid deck. I think this is pretty close to the deck that I have practiced with Mechikabura, but I think this, if people play it, you have to playtest a lot, right? One of the big things that I find is that people, they will rush Awakens really early against decks that they don't need to rush Awakens against, and they're not playing around using this card as a resource, right? You want your opponent to put cards in the drop area, and that way you can use this effect to remove them, because that way you're just getting free value, right? Also, just warping stuff from your opponent's hand is something that no other deck really can focus on consistently. Yeah, they draw a card, but that's fine. You're making them choose something to warp from their hand, and the chances of them getting the same card, if not something better, is not always as high as you think. People try to keep the best cards that they have in their hand anyways when they mulligan. So if they mulligan, they keep 5. Like, that's a really good hand. You slap 2 of these guys down, you've already warped 2 of those cards. That's making them choose. That's making them choose something that they probably don't want to choose. But this is pretty powerful. Like, you want to utilize Power Burst as much as possible, which is why you have all these 1-drops in here, right? Free combo, kind of a defensive card. Free value with the draw, searching for a dragon, as this one draws as well. So you have a lot of value in here. It's a very low to the ground deck, with, you know, these 2 kind of being your big boss monsters. You can probably cut this down to 1-2 and add another, like a Mechikabura or something else like that, just to kind of have it. But I think this deck is very solid. I think people just got to play it a little bit more. Hopefully knowing this combination here will make people want to play the deck more. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me that this doesn't work. If you're gonna say that, let me show me a judge Q&A, an actual judge, and we'll go over from there. But don't just spam the comments and say that it doesn't work, because as of right now it does. There's nothing, I've checked, there's nothing that says it doesn't work like that. So that's what I got for you guys. Well, yeah, side deck's down here as well. You guys can look at that as well. If you guys want to see a link of this deck, just let me know down in the comments down below. I will leave a link so you guys can check it out in its entirety and look at it like this way, so you guys can deck build around it. So thank you guys again for watching. As always, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.